I had a chance to go out to the sugar factory in Scottsbluff and just do a little filming out there of the unloading of the beets. And I found it was really fascinating, and you're seeing that behind me here taking place. Now this is speeded up about 2 times, so when you see the workers walking around, they're not really walking that fast. They'd really be putting out a lot of energy if they did that. But before we look at this more in detail, I just want to point out that God appointed 3 festivals for the Israelites. There was the festival of the unleavened bread, there was the festival of the harvest, and the festival of the final harvest. Now about those 2 festivals, here's what he said. Celebrate the festival of harvest when you bring me the first crops of your harvest. Finally, celebrate the festival of the final harvest at the end of the harvest season when you have harvested all the crops from your fields. So God set up a celebration of the harvest for people. And harvest is a time of celebration, isn't it? You know, the farmers have worked hard all year long, and they planted their crops, and then they were worried through the season as things were growing and the storms were coming and going, and they were just hoping for the very best. And sometimes it worked out, and hopefully most of the time it worked out. But sometimes you'd get those storms that would destroy the crops, and there goes your season. So if you make it through to the time of the harvest, it is truly a time to celebrate and to look forward to the fruit of your labor and hope you get a good price. Now I want to point out something here. Notice as this truck drives onto the area where his beets are going to be unloaded, he has 2 boxes on there. There's one in the front and one in the back of the truck. Now notice that he pulls all the way to the in, so they start unloading the back box. And that had me curious. Why did they do that? Why did they unload the back one before they do the front one? Seems like it'd be logical to go in and do the front one first and then the back one. But there had to be a reason, I knew. So I talked to my good friend Dennis Strow, who's done a lot of this kind of truck driving and unloading beets and all, and asked him, and he says, well, they tell me it's so that the trucks will be able to have traction when they try to pull out. Because if you unload the weight from the first box first, and then you try to pull through on to get the second one in there, that weight is off the front of that trailer. And because it could be muddy, it could have rained, it could be muddy, there's good beets that have fallen on the ground that have they've been mashed on the ground and made the ground slick, that the truck couldn't get traction to pull forward. And so they do the back one first, and then they do the front one. They back up and do the front one, as we have watched here. And those beets are going up on that conveyor belt as they're dumped out of the truck. They go up on that conveyor belt, and then they drop down on that other conveyor belt that carries them on up to where the pile is, where they're piling up the beets. It's a fascinating process, and it's really kind of fun to watch. But this is the time of harvest, a time to celebrate the festival of the harvest. Praise God for the harvest, and praise God for our hard-working farmers.